How we doing tonight? Give it a minute here and see what we can do. Get some people on here. Okay. We are putting together a 7 to 10 city tour for Michigan. And we are trying to allow you, the public, to choose the cities that we go to on this tour around Michigan. So, if you have any ideas on which cities you'd like to see me come to in order to speak to you and the people that we can gather up around while we're there, I'm listening to you. So, we have other candidates out there that are going city to city, and we figured we'd better do the same thing. It helps get my message out there, and it also gives you the opportunity to suggest a city that you would like to see us at. So that's what this live feed is about today, to help get the public involved in our campaign. So if you have any suggestions for cities that you would like to see me come to speak to you and the public around you, I'm all open. So again, we are putting together a 7 to 10 city tour of Michigan to go around spreading our message. And I'm coming to you to add some cities to the list. So, anybody out there have a city they'd like to see us come to? I have my trusty pen right here, and I'm ready to write it down. We're going to be setting something up in Flint as well. I've been asked to come back up to Flint and speak up there, so we are definitely adding Flint onto the list. We're more than likely going to go to Saginaw, which is Jim Hines' territory. He's the doctor that's running out of Saginaw. So, but this is technically an open forum. If there's anything you'd like to ask me a question about, I will answer your questions. So that's where we're at. We went to Sweet Kingdom Missionary Baptist Church this morning. It was a very nice service, nice small church, but like I've said over and over again, I'll meet groups of 5 or less, all the way up to 500 or more. It doesn't matter to me. You got to get the message out, need to win your votes, and to get some volunteers to come out. So, again, we're here asking your opinions on which cities you'd like to see us come to, speak to you. If you're willing to volunteer on those days after we speak, we'll go door to door with the people who want to volunteer, gathering signatures. Again, that we're starting our 3rd signature drive on the 1st of February. Lansing has tossed out our signatures twice, saying we've had too many unregistered voters. I don't believe that, but we're working on getting ready to start our 3rd signature drive. This time we will get the right amount of signatures. So, anybody there want to suggest a city? Come on, don't be bashful. We plan on Flint, Saginaw. Of course, we'll have a couple of stops in the Detroit metro area. I believe, Chris, you're on here. Luigi's is in Royal Oak, is it not? Metro area, 2 stops. Is there anybody on there that can send me a message to make sure this is going through? I'm not picking up any questions or messages on here. I'm hoping everything's functioning right. Midland. Bay City. Lansing. No, that's fine, Carrie. Thank you. At least I got a message on here, so I know that it's working now. I appreciate that. But yeah, that's our goal tonight. We want you, the public, to help choose. Hello, Carrie. Where we're going to start and finish our uh, city tours of Michigan. We'd like to have 7 to 10. We're going to put it together so that we do 4 to 5 cities per day for the 2 days that we're going to be out there. So this is why we're coming to you to get suggestions. So far we have Flint, Saginaw, Midland, Bay City, and Lansing. We would like to go north, so I'm trying to get viewers to give us suggestions for up north as well. I'd like to hit Alpena, Tawas, Traverse City, and we can even cross the bridge if we get enough people that would like us to come up there right away. I know we got to go up there, and so we're planning this. We will put the city list out. We'll put where we're meeting at in each of these cities, so that, thank you, Chris, I was right, it is Royal Oak. That's one of the metro stops. So far we like I said, we have Flint, Saginaw, 2 stops in the metro area, Midland, Bay City, Lansing, and let's see, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need 3 more suggestions so that we can put this all together. We have to make arrangements for restaurants or halls to have our speaking arrangements set up so that we can get the addresses out for the people that want to come hear me speak. We were received real well today at the Sweet Kingdom Missionary Baptist Church in a pretty heavily blighted area. I won't say I was shocked, but I was kind of surprised to see the heavy blight down there. But in that area, there are 5 churches. One of them was the Sweet Kingdom Missionary Baptist Church, and they're doing amazing things in their communities. They're helping their communities out, and yeah, I can send you a sign-up sheet, Carrie. I'll have to, well, I think I have your address still. I'll have to mail it out to you. We still use snail mail occasionally, so, or I can message you if you like. Well, messaging you won't help get the sheets out to you, so I'll have to mail those out to you, or when I get into Saginaw here in the next couple days, I'll stop by and give you a couple of the sign-up sheets. I got to check with Dave to see if he received his signature sheets as well. The first time I mailed them out to him, I mailed them to the wrong address and I got them back. So I haven't heard from him to see if he's received the sheets yet. So if he's on here, again, I need to check to see if he received the signing sheets. We want to start these on February 1st. So those of you that do want to volunteer to get some signatures, start on the 1st of February. That way it runs concurrent with our 180-day period. Again, we have to turn in, I'd like to turn in at least 35,000 signatures again, seeing how they like telling us that we keep getting too many unregistered voters. I find it highly unlikely, the way the media is shunning us and trying to keep us from getting our message out there, but Chris is working my name out there for notoriety purposes. We've been in Detroit Free Press and Saginaw State Journal, I believe it was, or excuse me, Lansing State Journal. So we're working on getting into the Flint Journal, to help get our message out as well. We want people to put a face together with the name so that they know who I am. And Paul Egan, he works for pretty much both of those papers as a reporter. He did a good job. I mean, it's a small article with all 7 of us who run for governor so far, but he gave me a fair shake, and we have a headshot of me there, so it turned out pretty good. I'll give him kudos for that. He didn't shy away from us independents. So, but that's what we're running into. The media is heavily for our 2-party system, the Democrats and the Republican. So we're trying to get as many radio interviews and newspaper articles, and we're even working towards getting on the TV for candidates, so that way we can get our fair share out the shake and we can get my message out. We are also working on a cable public TV show that we're trying to think what they were calling it over here at On TV. I believe it's Political Talks. So it's on Comcast network. I don't know if it runs it'll probably stay just local around here for right now, but we're hoping we can get copies of each show and send them out to the other public TV stations. If we get that to go through, I'll definitely let everybody know what channel they can watch those on. But again, we need 3 more cities. Anybody out there with any suggestions for cities up north? This is so far it looks like we're running on the east side of Michigan, other than Lansing. So we need 3 more cities that we can get into, that you would like to see us at. So if nobody wants to suggest any, I'm going to write Traverse City on here, seeing how that way we can follow some of the other candidates. So we'll put Traverse City on here. Got to learn how to work an ink pen, I guess. So used to working on my cell phone. All right, Traverse City. We'll definitely I'm going to put Alpena and Oscoda on here. They're all right in that little area. So I'm going to just put Alpena and Oscoda. Count them as one, even though they're separate little cities up there. Anybody, how about Gaylord as well? That way we can go back across and stop in between like Mayo, Atlanta, and all them as well. So let's see, Flint, Saginaw, Royal Oak, Lake Orion, Midland, Bay City, Lansing, Traverse City, Alpena, Oscoda, and Gaylord. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's actually 11 cities we're going to be stopping at. Now all we got to do is we'll have to find us a restaurant or Knights of Columbus Hall or someplace where we can get in to speak. Most of the places that we're going into will be restaurants. It's easier for us to just pull up, get in there, and spend an hour with the public at each of these stops. So I think that'll be a good tour, going all the way up the east coast of Michigan and then coming back over to Traverse City. This will be set up as a 2-day tour. And again, hello, Melissa. Well, Chris, we can add Muskegon on as long as time allows. I mean, there's no sense in wasting travel time. So if we can get extra cities in there, we will on the way up or down. So, I mean, there's an awful lot of cities we'll eventually get there. But if on the way back down from Traverse City, we got time to stop in Muskegon. So we're going to do this on a 2-day period. So if it works out well, we can continue this and move it along and have a couple of days in a row, Depends on the turnout, I'll be honest with you. But we are definitely out there getting our message out. We have a trifold brochure that hopefully, as the donations and contributions come in, we will get that printed, and we will start to have these out and around instead of just my so-called postcards. We have 2 of the postcards out there, but we are getting more and more of these out. We have, I think we're close to 75,000 or 80,000 of the postcards out there already. So we are definitely printing them and getting them out as soon as possible. But now we move to a more informational trifold brochure. We just had it all designed and put together, so hopefully those will be coming out soon. They give you a major portion of the campaign and information about who I am and what I am running on as a stance. I think most people would appreciate it, so we decided to do that instead of printing up more of the postcards. Postcards, they're just basic general information on the campaign, who I am, and what our campaign promises are. Dave and I are constantly out speaking to people, so I'm not bashful. If you ever see my car, and trust me, when you see it, you will not ever be able to miss it again. I can't hide that. It's not meant to be hidden, let's put it that way. Excuse me. So if you ever see the car, don't hesitate. Beep your horn, flip me off. I don't care. I'll stop and talk to anybody. Just when you wave all 5 fingers. But either way, we are out here, and I'm going to continue doing these Facebook Lives every Sunday. This Sunday, like I said, we're doing it to put together our, well, turned out to be a minimum of 10 city tour. We're going to do it over the couple of days, a 2-day period. We're going to set these up, and we will put on Facebook the addresses and times that we will be at each of these particular places in the cities that we have chosen. Oh, we got a new question on here. What do you think about the ban that Trump put into place? Well, if I remember right, Melissa, the ban that Trump put on was coming from the 7 major areas in the Middle East where they have ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Muslim Brotherhood, and all those types of radical Islamic groups. I've been paying attention to some of the national stuff that's been going on nationwide, but my main concern is Michigan right now. But yes, I am paying attention to what's going on, and you asked me what I think about it. Being honest, I agree with it for the simple fact we have to protect our country. But there's some parts of it that go against some of my beliefs. But we do need to vet, I should say, not vent, vet the people that are coming from that region. I don't think we need any more terrorist activities. Of course, most of the terrorist activity that we've had going on in the United States has been our own U.S. citizens. So, again, other than that, I don't know what to say on that. Well, at least you agreed with me. Yes, Chris, we can do Facebook Lives from each city as well. When I make a stop at these cities that will be there for an hour or so at a time, we're going to try to keep it to a scheduled time so that we can get as many cities in as we can when we start our tour. So I'm going to say right now that we're going to try to keep it to an hour at our major stops. And if we have the time between the next appointed time on the tour, we'll stop at some cities in between where we may stay 20 minutes to a half hour max. So we'll regulate the time, and as we make these stops, we will broadcast Facebook Live, assuming that our phones are working properly in some of these areas. I will make sure that is on the agenda that we do broadcast from our stops, so people can see that we are actually out there moving around. I would like to cross the bridge up there to Newberry. After all, John Bell, if I remember correctly, at WSOO 12:30 a.m. radio station is one of the gentlemen that gave us an interview, and I believe he was out of Newberry. So I would like to cross the bridge up there, but I want to do it for more than one city up there. We could spend a whole day up there in the UP talking to the people up there as well, not just Newberry. We could hit St. Ignace, Sault Ste. Marie, Newberry. Those three would all be in that area. And then it maybe hit small towns like Curtis, west of there. We got what? Marquette. We got all those over there, Copper Harbor. We have to hit all of them. So I wouldn't mind actually just putting up together a UP tour and going up there, spending a couple of days. But as far as where we want to go, yes, I do like the idea of going to Newberry. Maybe John Bell would like to broadcast an hour or so of his show with us up there at one of the restaurants. If we can put that together, that might be an idea to talk to him about. Melissa, we are setting up places to meet at these areas that we're putting on our tour. Like in Royal Oak, there's a nice little pizza restaurant called Luigi's. Oh, and he has excellent pizzas there, by the way. That's where we're going to be stopping in Royal Oak. The gentleman has been more than willing to host a fundraiser like that for us. What we're trying to do, and I'm not making promises on this part, but what we're trying to do is some of these restaurants that we're stopping at, see, some of these restaurants have volunteered to host these for us so that they can give, and most time they spend all the money themselves on the food and stuff that we put together for our speaking arrangement. I don't mind them doing that, but I don't like doing that. They're in business to make money, but I appreciate it. Don't ever think I don't appreciate it. Yes, you're right, Chris. John Bell was in Sault Ste. Marie. That's why it was WSOO. That was my fault. I misspoke about Newberry. If I remember right, we're in talks with a radio station in Newberry right now, but we just haven't gotten a reply from them. But anyways, a lot of these restaurants that we're going to be talking to, we're trying to set it up so that the people that come in, if they mention that they're there at their restaurant to hear me speak, Todd Schleiger, for governor, they'll get some kind of discount on their meal. So we're being honest, we're trying to make it easier for the people to come in and speak, and everybody loves a discount on food. I love to eat, and I'm sure all of us love to eat, so if you get a discount, it might bring people into the restaurant. We're going to try to fill up every location that we go to, so we're working on talking to these restaurant owners and see if they'd be willing to do something like that just for the 1 hour that we're there. In other words, if we set up an appointment at 12 noon to come into a restaurant, from noon to 1, they'll run a 25% discount off your meals, or 50%, whatever it is. I'm not going to tell you you're going to get a 50% discount or a 25% discount, not knowing if that's true. When we post these on there to put the tour together, I will definitely let you know where the restaurants are that we're going to get these discounts ahead of time. So that way you know when you get there, you're there to listen to Todd Schleiger speak. They will give you the discounts, but that's what we're working on. So, but again, we will put this together, and hopefully we're going to do this within the next 2 to 3 weeks, depending on work schedules of people on the committee and myself, of course. We are going to set this up so that, again, we get around and get our message out. We're hoping to ask for volunteers at each area. We will be accepting contributions at each area. Again, the website, if you want more information on it, is not yet. They've thrown our signatures out twice now. They're fighting us real hard on the signatures for the ballot. We've roughly 32,000 the first time. They said we had just under 5,000 that were unregistered voters. I could understand that, and I could swallow the first one. The second one we turned in just over 36,000 signatures, and they told us that we had 16,000 unregistered voters. I find this highly unlikely, so now we're being forced to run a third signature drive. They're trying to keep us off the ballot. There's one thing about this. All these other candidates out there, they have not all turned in signatures yet as well, so we're all right so far. We have 180 days to get these signatures in, so February 1st is the date that we're going to kick off this signature drive for our third one. But I'm determined, and we are getting people together that want to volunteer to help gather a couple of signatures. Some of these churches we speak at, we get volunteers to take one page, which is 12 signatures, not counting their own. It's 11 counting theirs that they need to get, and then we gather up signatures again. We've done this before, I should say. We're going to work on doing this one again. So, but we are getting ready to do it again. I don't have access to the registered voters list because I'm an independent. I can pay for it, but it'll cost me right around $1,500 to get access to the QIV. At this point in time, I'm not worried about that, but we're going to continue to try it. We're going to turn in around 35,000 signatures again. If for some reason the numbers don't match up, I don't know if they're actually, I just can't believe that we're running across that many unregistered voters. I don't understand it, but we will keep trying. We have the opportunity if we have to for 2 more times, but we got to get these signatures in. We got to make sure we're guaranteed to be on the ballot. So you need a vacation, huh, Melissa? So I'm hoping the software is working really well. It looks like it is. We're not being cut out like we were when we were using the phones. The laptop seems to be working through this OBS Studios software, so it makes it a lot easier for me, and I think it has a better camera on my laptop than it does on my cell phone. I may be wrong, but from what I'm seeing, it works better in this room. I got to paint these walls. I got my own green room here, so but we are doing the best we can for the campaign. I'd like more people to donate to our campaign. We're taking small dollar donations from the people. We've turned down at least 2 corporate donations. They're not really allowed to donate to us, but they have offered. I don't know if it was green is my color, huh? Now, if I had the proper software, I could make that look like anything I wanted it to, but I don't have that kind of software. So just like the studios do with their green room. But we've turned down 2 donations from corporations. They weren't none of these mega donations. They were actually within legal limits, but we did turn them down because they were coming from a corporation. They're small corporations, but either way, my donations come directly from you, the people, no corporations whatsoever. If you go to the website, which is schleigerforgovernor2018.com, you can go on, I believe you can go on 4 out of the 5 pages, and there's a donate button. You can make a one-time donation of any amount you'd like, up to $3,400, and I don't expect any of you to make that type of donation. If you want to, great, but I don't expect nothing of that. What we try to do is we try to get people to go on and donate on a reoccurring donation level of $3, $4, or $5. If you were to actually be on there for a year, which I believe there's 19 months left of this campaign, somewhere right around there, 19 or 20. If you were to go on there, that'd be $36 a year for a $3 donation. I figure most people can handle $3 a month, and I mean, I won't tell you what I put into it every month. My wife would shoot me. So, but love the woman to death. But other than that, we've reached our half hour here. Is there anybody out there that wants to ask a question while I'm on here? I still like that, Melissa. You're telling me green is my color. I'm actually in a sweater up here instead of my shirt and tie. Sometimes I got to change it up. Heck, I've made these videos in my work clothes, so I'm not bashful. What about doing the statewide tour on a weekend where most people have those days off? That's a possibility, Chris. It depends on how we can get everything set up, which is best for the restaurants or halls that we're going to be at. But yeah, I like the idea of doing it on a weekend. That way, you're right. Most people are home from work, most people, and that's their days off. So that's a possibility. Todd likes to hang out with Kermit the Frog. That's a funny pun on my green wall, huh? Oh, right now, unfortunately, Kermit's with his girlfriend, Miss Piggy. So, all right. I thank you for your time. I'm always available on Facebook. I do return messages. As soon as I get them, I do return them as soon as possible. Generally, I think Facebook even mentions that I get back within a couple of hours. So if I'm out doing something, my phone's not with me. One of the first things I do is I check my phone when I get back. So enjoy your evenings. I thank you for listening to me ramble on about our Michigan tour that we're going to be doing. And I hope to see you at one of the locations when we put the list out and the places that we're going to be meeting at. Again, blessings to you all and have a good evening.